Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tankers of all ages, Sir Harry here again with the first video in a new series that I'm calling Unlovables. I'm featuring tanks that everybody seems to really dislike, tanks that have some challenges because of their speed, their firepower, their armor, just the way they are, and generally speaking, nobody wants to play these tanks. They want to grind through them, get to the next ones. I was researching some tanks for the next user-friendly video. I wanted to play the tanks in the tree around it to get a feel for whether or not they changed since I played them last, because some of these tanks I haven't played in a very long time, and I may have just given away the subject of the next user-friendly video. But I came across the Lee and I thought, okay, I'll have a couple of battles, and it turned out I actually had a couple of okay battles, and that spawned this idea to feature tanks that nobody likes, but tanks that you can do okay in if you play them in a certain way. They certainly generally don't play the way you would think they would based on their tier, based on their class. And the thing with the M3 Lee, of course, you always hear play it like a TD. You pretty much have to. It's got that really nice 75mm gun, high rate of fire, but it's mounted in a hull-mounted sponson, very limited traverse. It does have a high rate of fire. The Alpha's not bad. It's not as good as the M4 Sherman, which is funny because it's essentially the same 75mm gun. Wargaming, please let me know why that is. But you can see here we're on Fisherman's Bay, a tier 6 battle. So on bottom tier, the enemy team has a Hellcat. They've got SU-100, SU-100Y. They've got an FE-304, which could chew me up and spit me out pretty quick if I get tracked in place. And so this bush line on Fisherman's Bay I love from the south spawn. If you're a light tank, if you're a medium tank, you can get up here, you can get spots, and you can generally get a feel for what the enemy's doing. And if you've got a good camouflage skill and a cam net maybe, you can actually get some shots off without being spotted. But that is risky, especially at higher tiers as the vehicles start to get greater and greater view ranges. So you can see we did get some spots off there. We're working with that Crusader in the middle who has a really, really good game, and you know how I love the Crusader. The enemy Hetzer gets nuked by our Burt, and we can start to see, okay, they're not pushing a lot down the one line there. That M4 was spotted. There is a B1, that's the French B1, the Tier 4 heavy tank, which you may have just noticed in the opening credits for this series, and may be the subject of another video in this line down the road. But he's in the middle there. He's not much of a threat. He's got pretty bad view range and a pretty putt-putty little gun. So now we've got the M4 coming down the one line there, and we're a little worried about him. I think the T-67's heading down there too, and we have nobody. We have nobody watching that one line. So we're a little worried. The Jackson on our team decides to head over. I'm going to head over there. The T-67, very dangerous Tier 5 American tank destroyer, sticks his head up. I do get a shot into him, but he's killed before I can get another. So pretty good so far. I don't know if I've been spotted because I actually don't have Sixth Sense on this crew. I put a new crew into it after I unlocked the M4 and moved that crew up. So this is about a 78-80% crew, something like that. So no perks, no skills, nothing like that. You can see now tanks surging over to the west to help reinforce against that M4. But if you look at the mini-map, you can see that an enemy Churchill 3 has actually made his way high on that middle road there overlooking town. And the Churchill 3 has a really, really high rate of fire. The pen's not great, but it's a premium tank, so you can afford to spend money on premium ammo. And now we see that Hetzer's in the middle here. The Burt's running away. He doesn't want to get nuked by that Hetzer, and he's all by himself. He's isolated, and I figure, you know what, I might be able to sneak up and get a shot on him. I think it's our Crusader that spotted him, and he gets a couple of shots. That looks like Crusader sort of alpha damage. So we wheel around the corner, and there he is sure enough. Now I use auto aim here just because I don't want to bother going into sniper view and wasting time on that. And first shot bounces, so I load some APCR and manage to take him out with the second shot. So hey, that's not too bad. Again, bottom tier, we're doing okay. So we carry on traveling east towards town. The Churchill 3 was killed, but you can see there's an SU-100, very dangerous Russian Tier 6 tank destroyer. But the Crusader and the AT-2 both have blistering rates of fire, and they're picking them apart. And there you go, our Burt gets another kill. He picks up the scraps. And the Burt doesn't have a lot of alpha damage, but it has a very, very high trajectory, so it is able to fire into cities, around buildings, over walls, and things like that, and hit areas that other artillery often have trouble getting to. So I decided to head up the middle here, and I'm thinking, I want to scope out the enemy base. I don't know who's there. Most likely the remaining enemies are up in that northwest corner, but it's a lower mid-tier game, and sometimes players are still figuring out the maps, depending on what type of tank they're playing. And then the enemy FE-304 gets spotted, and that's a great relief to me, because as I mentioned, he does enough alpha and he fires pretty quickly, so he could take me out if I was spotted. I get two shots, he disappears, and blind shot for the kill. Best kill, arty kill, and even better kill is a blind shot arty kill. That was fantastic. So head up towards the enemy base now. You can see the KV-1S is the only heavy alive in town there for the enemy team, and I'm kind of looking sideways as I'm driving to see if I can get shots on him, but he gets taken out by my teammates before I can get into a position to shoot. So we carry on. We're going to head to these bushes, see if we can scope out anything up in the northwest corner there. Odds are their artillery's there, and I would fully expect to see their Wolverine camped out amongst those buildings up in kind of A1, B1 area. And of course my team's surging up the one line now, having dealt with that M4. The M3 Lee isn't exactly fast, but it's not bad. It's 38 kilometers an hour forward, and it seems to have pretty good terrain resistances. You see I'm going up a slight slope here on probably medium resistance terrain, and it's making pretty good time. It's not a speedster by any stretch, but you know what? It's not bad. So our Jackson gets to the arty before I do. Unfortunately, I would have loved to get another arty kill. That just would have been icing on the cake. So that Wolverine is now spotted in the field just north of our cap, and I don't know how he got there. That was quite a little bit of ninja stealth move in there for that Wolverine to get all the way down there without getting spotted until he's almost at our base. So our team immediately starts converging, of course, like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Mine. Everybody wants some damage on that last kill. And our FE304 says, let's joust. Now, I would love to have a copy of this FE304's replay to see this. He is charging right at that Wolverine. Look at the icon. Fires, rams, dead Wolverine. Wow, that was amazing. So looking at the battle results, second class mastery, not bad, pretty happy with that. Fire for effect, that's the big one, right? You did as much damage as the hit points of your vehicle, you kind of pulled your weight. I got 425 XP, 566 damage, not amazing, but I got 2 kills. And again, I think I kind of made a meaningful contribution to my team there, even though I was bottom tier and I was in a Lee, and I almost made a 10,000 credit profit. So we've seen what the M3 Lee can do in a tier 6 game when it's bottom tier. If you play it cautiously, what can you do if you're top tier? And this is Serene Coast. It's a tier 4 battle. There seems to be some kind of recurring theme, a lot of Serene Coast battles on my channel, just kind of the way it works out, I guess. But you know, I'm heading over to the west side there, the one line where all the mediums tend to congregate, and my plan is to go to the last rock before you turn south towards that ridge and stick my gun sponson around the side of that rock, so I'm only exposing as little of my hull as possible. So then somebody else hopefully will go down there, spot some tanks cresting that ridge, and I can get some pot shots at them. But our M3 Stewart has other plans. He scouts, he decides to YOLO right down the railway tracks, and holy cow, look at that. The entire enemy team seems to have congregated just north of their spawn, and they're not really going too far. T-28 spotted, I get one shot into him before he's killed. The T-46, a Russian light tank, backs out. I get one shot into him, but the accuracy on this 75 mil gun is not great, and even if you're fully aimed, it won't always go where you think it's going to. A B1 was spotted there. I put a couple of shots at him. Those go nowhere near where I'm aiming, and so I'm officially in TD mode now. Another B1 sticks his head up over the tracks there. I can just see is the top of his turret and his cupola. There's no way I'm ever going to hit that. Even if he hadn't moved, that probably wouldn't have hit. So we're looking out for more targets here. That B1 pops out again. I'd forgotten the T-28 wreckage was there. I get a lucky shot into his turret, but you'll see here I put a couple of shots that look like they go low, and they actually hit that T-28 wreckage. This B1's kind of hull down. The turret, unfortunately, is kind of the squishy spot on this tank, sometimes anyway if you hit it right, and so I get frustrated. I bounce a couple off the turret, and there you go. I hit 2 and decide to load some APCR. Bounce another shot. That goes low, it looks like into the T-28 wreck. Another one low into the T-28 wreck. You got to be patient with this gun on the M3. And there we go, finally get a penetrating hit into him, and bang, he's dead. So, that B1's taken care of. We resume TD mode again. And oh, there's the M3 Lee, it's my counterpart. It's always kind of fun when there's one other tank of the same type on the enemy team, and you manage to kill him. It's kind of nice, isn't it? So now we've got the little French TD there, the UE. He's got no armor. He's very small. Hard target to hit sometimes. I managed to get the first hit with auto aim there. I missed the second. He's backing up, and the third flies true. So take out that little TD. I actually really like that TD. It's a lot of fun. It can be pretty dangerous if you can get him. Whoa! What was that? I was aiming at a Panzer B2 and managed to hit the T-46 and kill him? Okay, I'll take it. Not a problem. Always nice to be lucky, I guess, once in a while. So the enemy Panzer 4D backs out from a rock. I put a shot. It looks like it's going to go wide right, but it actually damages and tracks him. So a bit more luck there, I guess. I put another shot at him, but he must have used his repair kit because he pulls back behind cover before my round can land there. So our light tanks that are doing all that awesome scouting, getting lots of spotting damage, are finally taken out there. And the enemy team, it's 9-6 for us, and I guess they think it's an appropriate time to attack because they start advancing towards us. That Panzer 4D pulls up from behind the rock. I get one shot into him, but unfortunately he's taken out before I can get another shot. So I can see now the Panzer B2 that I was shooting at earlier is just visible through that little gap between the rocks there, and you can see again, just like the B1, the armor's trolling me a little bit. I do get some penetrating shots through, but I am using APCR to do that. One shot flies a bit wide to the left. It looks like it might have been a tracking shot or a no damage crit, but then I finally take him out. Their looks makes a break for it for the bridge. I'm a bit late with the shot there. Of course, you have to traverse the entire hull of this tank because that gun arc on the main 75mm gun is so narrow. It takes a second to aim again, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get the looks. So now the enemy Hetzer is visible, and he's just sitting there. I get 2 shots into him. I'm thinking he's got to move. He doesn't. He's taken out, though, before my 3rd shot lands. So now with only 2 enemy tanks left, it's time to move. I'm not really holding out a lot of hope I'm going to get much more out of this battle. The rest of my team is really, really far south. You can see where that DW2 is. He's almost at the enemy cap. The enemy kills are Type 95, the Tier 4 Japanese heavy tank, and they're really starting to pick apart the last heavy there. Their enemy Type 95 is sitting there. You can see there he's taking damage. And you know what? We'll stop, we'll aim, we'll see if we can get silhouette. And oh, there we go. I've got silhouette. Aim, and fire, and 31 hit points. Not a deliberate kill steal by any stretch. That's just down to the aim time on this Lee. I probably could have shot earlier, but there was no way I had a hope of hitting that Type 95. So we're carrying on now. Just the Arty left, and you know I really do enjoy my Arty kills. He takes a big bite out of our DW2 there, and the rest of our team is starting to move towards him, but they seem a little tentative. I'm just going to carry on. I've still got all my hit points, so you know what? That Sturmpanzer could hit me, and I'll probably be okay. We'll carry on. We'll cover the ridge here, and looking for Arty. And oh, there he is. That's great. Okay, so aim. 1 hit. I'm thinking my team's got to kill him here before I get the 2nd shot in, but no. There you go. Game over. Top Gun 6 kills. So here are the battle results, and wow, Ace Tanker, a really pleasant surprise. I was not expecting that. High caliber because I did a whole bunch of damage. That gun sang the entire battle, and 1,678 damage, and almost 1,500 of that was from over 300 meters. You let this gun aim on the Lee, you can play it like a TD from range. 825 base experience, and I made about a 6,500 credit profit because, of course, I fired a lot of premium rounds, but I would have lost about 3,500 had this been a regular account. So that's the M3 Lee, the tank everybody hates, the tank nobody loves. Is there a tank that you think is unlovable? Let me know what it is. Maybe I'll try to get a replay up, see if I can get a good result. Maybe I'll just crash and burn. I've got a few ideas, of course. We saw the DW2, we saw the B1. There's lots of unlovable tanks out there in World of Tanks. Thanks for watching. Consider clicking subscribe, and if you like the video, please like and leave a comment. This is Sir Harry. Thanks for watching. Cheers.